why is such a beautiful day today, and why the weather is like that, why is different some days, why the plants grow at a certain rate, how the plants know when to stop growing, when to die, when to lose the leaves, when to open flowers, bloom and stuff, how those natural things know without the brain, without intelligence, how the ants know how to recognize an environment, how they create a map and recognize the previous tracks so they can go back to the food source, how the bees do that, how the worms recognize how to get to the roots or to the sources of nutrients they find underground, right? So with such a primitive system, so if we take out of the equation the humans who use intellect, how this weather works, so why we don't have very nasty storms all the times, right? Or hurricanes, how the currents, oceanic currents move with the changes of seasons, with the environment, with it's like it's a perfect system. I mean, there might be slight changes, but everything looks like organized, and it was even more organized before. That's it's a pipeline storage facility, and they installed a bunch of cameras, like a bunch, big trans-mountain property. So thousands and thousands of pipes, and many weird specialty cameras at every single corner. It's like but it's like a very expensive cameras, and they move automatically when they detect a movement. So they have a software. Jones Lake, yeah, I've been here yesterday, just yesterday, and I've been here while it was snowing up on the mountain. It was dumping hard, and I did record something at the water reservoir, like the hydro dam, and such a big difference between yesterday and today, and it's a lovely day. Even yesterday was a really good day. I went through the snow and stuff, so I enjoyed it, and today it's better for video recording. For me it's kind of the same. It's not going to make me think way differently, but if you look at the mountain peaks and the forest and stuff, it's like really nice to record the videos and take pictures, of course. So before the humans started to develop the world, develop in their way, so humans started to scratch the surface and do different things and constructions to benefit them. So it's not really to benefit the animals. So humans are created in a specific way to multiply and inhabit the planet. So I think there is a It's really nice, really nice. I'm tempted to go there hiking, but I think it's First Nations property or something. I don't know. So I'll leave this one for another day. Like it could be a mountain lake. And so this man, I'm distracted by the environment, and I lose track of my thoughts. So I might delete this video. I don't know. We'll see. So humans started to modify the environment, and before, when the humans did not have any systems, any technologies that gave them a good life, humans had to rely on hope, and hope generally came from unknown, from an entity that was doing everything, was kind of making changes and doing things at a bigger scale, like the weather, how these things work, how the mountains go, how the volcanoes do things. And these big events made people feel not insignificant, but feel so small. So it says here, I'm talking about something, right? So I did not choose where I'm going. I just took an exit, which I did not take yesterday. Yesterday I came through here. And don't worry, be happy, marijuana delivered, right? So people are seeking a good feeling which they can't find in God or in supernatural. So those guys, old days, they invented God. They invented a supernatural entity in their mind, and since they started to discover that this world is so complex, is beyond their imagination, beyond their control, they thought, okay, must be someone big. Okay, so they came up with this big guy image of a big old guy. Like the Greeks started with their gods, that type of thinking. Romans had that similar stuff. So all the nations or populations, groups of people, societies, they came with their own version of truth. What's above us? Who does that? How come things go? So they had their wise people who were assisting the kings and the leaders. They had visionaries who got visions from somewhere, helping the society to stay safe, do things right, stay alive, whatever. And they were creative people, those who imagined things, how it would work, how the system might be created. Then once the people discovered the technologies and science, they thought, you know what, yeah, the old stuff is bullshit. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Anything like a god, anything like yeah, there is no such a thing. So those humans who never had hope, never had belief, faith and stuff, they shifted from one thing, one theory, one belief to another. So I've done the same. So I'm not one of those who are just saying. I know from my own life experience. So I've been through searching the truth. So is that part of the human need or greed for stuff? And some people are greedy for food, other people are greedy for knowledge, other people are greedy for money. So you can put that mental energy into different things. So you can want to know everything. You can want to be in control. And I came up with all sort of explanation, including about some extraterrestrial entities who use humans to connect to their mind. Let's say humans are populating the earth here. They broadcast through their brain, because I can tell you people don't know much about the brain, how the brain functions. You see an eagle on the top of a tree. Maybe it doesn't show up on camera. All cool stuff. When you get out of the house, it's always nice here. White Peaks. I'm really tempted to get out of the car, but I keep with my goal today. And so I thought, I came up with some sort of a cool concept, because my brain is always going without reading, without at the time it was no YouTube or no videos of people posting their thoughts. So I thought, wow, I invented something, or I discovered something, and several times I came up with weird stuff. And I knew that's kind of just a thought, I should not think that way. If there is God, I could get busted, and for upsetting a God. So I thought, hey, you know what? Humans are able to telepathically talk to each other. So that means there is a subtle energy that we are not aware of. We don't know what's going on. We don't know when we broadcast. And I knew that they are like those. Let me take this exit, because I want to go to a waterfall. So humans are. They know that there are people who can guess thoughts, can read future. Those. No visionary. I forgot the name of the term they use for that. Witches, maybe. Okay, so I'm supposed to take this road. This is a tricky one. Oh yeah, there are people going hiking. Oh yeah, nice. And oh, so nice canyons. Actually, I'm going farther because I don't mind to hike. Oh, yeah, lots of people with the kids. Right, nice. Okay, so I'm going to park here while I'm trying to finish my thoughts. And I thought, okay, people are broadcasting somehow, we don't know how, but people are broadcasting their thoughts. And I thought, maybe there are aliens who are able to pick up our thoughts telepathically, and they are able to see what we see, and they are able to learn about our world. Then I was making up some scenarios, like I knew it was like a movie type of scenarios, where when the aliens would be able to tune into our minds, and you try to hide, but they can see what you see. They can tune into your brain, and you have no way to escape, right? So that was some of the, like I said, some movie science fiction scenarios several years ago, 20 something years ago, something. Then I had an event in my life, was kind of a learning lesson, and I thought something is not right. Something is, maybe it's just a coincidence, but then I started to open my mind and think differently. The consequences of our thinking, the consequences of our action affect us. And it was a trigger. I was waking up a bit, and I was in 80s. Then I changed. Like I said, people are seeking not truth, explanations. Because why people would do that? Because they want to be in control. They want to know what happens, why, how to change it, how to make it good for me, right? So I thought about that, and I'm thinking now, if you look at religious people, you know what? Religious people are those happy and content to know that there is a God. They have faith. Doesn't matter what the science are saying. Because if I look at the science, and the science that powers the industrial revolution, because the industrial revolution powers the science, right? So why people would do the research? Yeah, some people say, you know what, yeah, we'll do for a better life, but depends what the better life is for you. So if you look at the Amish, most of the Amish people are happy and content, and they did that for hundreds of years, okay? Now, if you look at the industrialized countries, people, they appear happy, but they keep seeking happiness, and they jump from one thing to another thing in the search for happiness. And in that jump, they keep raising the bar. They want more and more and more. Because that's why they jump from one thing to another thing, because they are not fully satisfied. They did not find whatever they were looking for. They keep looking for something more. When people find a real love, let's say connection with some imaginary entity, with a god, and if they really find a bond and they find a satisfying emotion, an emotion, let me take my headphones off, an emotion that actually with the headphones I'm less loud. Okay, I don't want to overpower my voice because it distracts me from talking. I just learned something, so if I talk in a less, yeah, so if I can't hear my voice, then I can hear different thoughts. That's weird. Huh. That's really strange. So I'm going to experiment with that. So I'm going to, yeah, so when I'm driving, I can't hear my voice that loud. I can hear my voice, that's why I have a feedback, so I can pronounce the words correctly, but it's not that loud, so I can hear different ideas. Whoa, that's really interesting. So so those who find real love, and they are happy and content, and they learn from the priest, from their parents, or from themselves, like by experimenting, you know what, this is the feeling of love, I'm happy, this is the stuff that I was looking for. So if you look at those guys, women, people, kids, maybe they don't know, unless they found it because they found the love, the real love, parents' love. So maybe that's the advantage of being kid. So you are not yet poisoned by the society noise, trying to grab your focus in all direction, like in these newer kids who you can't get this newer kid, like a newer generation started to believe in God. It's difficult. Why? Because they have the love on a Facebook, they have the love on a social media and gadgets. So those kids are totally disconnected from any religious thinking and any God, any entities, because they get what they want, they get the explanation they want, and that's it. So those are lost from the religious point of view. But if you have people who they decided, you know what, I want a simple life, simple but happy life. yeah, those are more tempted to stick with their religious beliefs. But if you see the noisy one, noisy mind one, those who can't focus, can't stand still, they want more and more, they want booze, partying, they want city noise, city adventure and stuff like that. Those they keep seeking the good feeling which they can't find in love, and even they think they find love, they won't stick around with the loved ones. Why? Because they're not the loved ones, right? So if you look at the number of divorces in the city compared to the one at the countryside, you will see it's a higher number. Now, of course, we will say countryside people know each other. They don't want to split because the neighbors might say something. Yeah, that's a factor, of course. But there is a percentage of people who, like I said, they rather get out of focus from the marriage and love and float around in the noise and the soup noise of the city, because they find something, or they keep seeking, they find something, or they might find, and those things, seeking the love, they always get tempted to get the newest gadgets, the newest technology, the newest big screen, the newest car. Why? Because they keep seeking that good feeling, significance, love, whatever. So love, it's a very complex feeling, very complex mental kind of a setup. It's a special design. It's a special design that is not only to connect with people who make kids. It's a very complicated, very complex emotions. It contains lots of information in that emotion, and only I mean, there are lots of people who find it, but to find in the whole depth of that emotion, only those people who have a quiet mind, they can find the stuff that gives them the full satisfaction, full feeling, and feeling human, feeling connected, feeling appreciated, feeling significant, and all those little sub emotions and feelings. So some people find only connection in the love, connection, and during the connection, or in that connection, there is a sub feeling of sexual desire, but the love is a more of a, it's a really complex, like I said, complex form of energy, mental energy. It's designed with a purpose. So I was talking about atoms. So this is, it could be a talk for hours, but I'm determined to go for a hike, and yeah, the day doesn't wait for me. The sun doesn't wait for me. Atoms and life and stuff, these organized forms of energy. If you believe in a material world, that's fine. If you believe there is an energetic field that is created and organized in a very precise way, in a certain way that gives us this reality, the way we are supposed to see. And the thing is, last night I saw it's called action comedy type of genre, movie genre. So it was a funny movie combining technologies and ways of thinking. And one of the way of thinking, they were making fun. It was a very sarcastic movie. They were making fun of Apple lovers, Apple gadgets users, making fun of Steve Jobs as the CEO of Apple, making fun of different theories. And one of the guys, like some guru guy who was leading a group of followers, and he was brainwashing all of those. He used this concept like, you know, the world is the way they want us to perceive. And I thought, oh, I thought I had this idea, this concept, but not reading it, not listening any stuff, not watching anything. It's by digging very deep into the human mind and the world organizing. So I'm not the only one who came up with this stuff, this concept that we see the world the way we are supposed to see it. So if you see it at the surface, this concept at the surface is one thing, you will not understand it. But if you dig deep, if you go deep into how the five senses are created, and if you want to stick with the material concept of the world, you will understand some. But if you want to dig deeper into the energetic nature of the field we live in and the world we live in, and all the energetic structures that we perceive as atoms, or sense that they are atoms or stuff like that, then you will get this understanding. So I have to let you go. I have to let you go. I had one thought, so I thought I'm going to record something while I'm driving, see what comes out. And I wanted to say actually that how you imagine an atom having infinite amount of energy to last hundreds of thousands of years. Let's say a piece of rock which is made out of certain material, certain substance, then a substance made out of molecules or atoms and stuff. How you think that such atom, such substance stays together without changing over the thousands of years, right? So you have some rock, volcanic rock, or just some rock somewhere, the bottom of the ocean, or somewhere in a mountain, in the depth of a mountain, 100 meters deep, and it does not change its structure. If the mountain doesn't move much, or it does move, but let's say the rock, it's still there, and it stays as a rock. It stays as a granite or basalt or any other type of quartz rock or mineral. It does not change. It tells you that the atoms preserve the internal bonding energies, because to keep the electrons flying around in that field of electrons, if you believe that's the way the world is designed, how you imagine those guys have so much energy to fly for billions of years? You would imagine that substance start to disintegrate, here, especially the old mountains, billions of years millions of years mountains would disintegrate, would vaporize or disappear or convert into something else, like from this rock would change into different rock, would change the structure. Maybe that happened. Maybe millions of years ago, these mountains were made out of blue rocks. How do we know, right? How do we know that this did not change over the time? So think deep. What's govern those electrons' energy? What keeps them stable in a way? And where that energy comes from? Then we'll talk about energy fields and how the atoms are encoded in a certain way to appear a certain way. Okay, so let you go. Bye bye. See you later.